Okay, so good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning. I hate when people tell me good morning. Okay, so today is the second week of my Sunday verse review. As you can see, I look a little different. I mean, I look the same, but I comb my hair, but I didn't comb my hair. So just like a little preface, just really quick. I usually have my hair straight. Like I usually get my hair done like once a week. And I get it blew out, silk press. You know the girlies, the black girlies, you know what the silk press is. But in June, I decided to June of last year, 2024, I decided to go super hard with working out. So I was working out like 7 days a week for like 3 months. And then I went down to like 5 days a week. Eventually I went down to like 3 days. And then like now I work out maybe 1 or 2 times a week. But I had gained so much weight. Like my son went away to college, and you know, like the freshman 20, I gained his freshman 20. I don't think, and he became like a muscle man, and I like gained his freshman 20 because I was sad that he left. So I had gained so much weight, so I had to get it off. And the way I was getting it off, I just worked out really hard. So I couldn't like go and eat. I mean, I couldn't go and get my hair done because it was like I was getting my hair done on Fridays because that was my day. And then I would go work out. I would like not work out Saturday and Sunday at first. And then I would work out Monday through Friday. And it was like my hair is good for 2 days. And then I'm just gonna stop doing this, especially when I was working out like 6 or 7 days a week. It was like literally only lasting 1 day. And you know, it's so pressed nowadays. It's like $100. It's not like back in the day when you used to be paying $40 to get your hair flat ironed. Anyway, so I just been wearing my hair natural, and for me, natural is like throwing it in a ponytail or putting it like into French braids or something like that. So usually when I do that, like I end up like, I don't know, not taking care of my hair, and it's just like falling out by the time I start going to get my hair done. So I wanted to like straighten my hair out just to see like the healthiness of it and the length of it, and see if it's growing and stuff. And it is growing. So it's like you probably can't see it because I have on this black, but it's like to my bra strap. And so it's not falling out, it's still growing. And so I just wanted to kind of like straighten it out. All I did was blow it dry. I washed it because Sundays is my wash day. So I usually wash it and then just like put it back in a slicked like natural back ponytail or whatever. But today I did, today I just blew dry it, put some like oil on it, and that was it. I'm trying to keep as much heat off as possible. So, all right, so let's get to it. So today, I'm a lot more prepared. I had the week to kind of decide what verse I wanted, and how I wanted to talk about it, and you know, I have some inserts and stuff like that. So first, I want to start with last week's verse was Psalm 78, and so last week I did not associate the verse with trading, and that is something that I want to do. I want to associate the verse every week with trading, because this page is about trading, but it's also, you know, about the Lord, because I put the Lord in everything I do, but and I need him for trading, definitely, because trading is so intense and so stressful and so many other things that I'm always begging God, please, even if it's, let it go back up to it just my profit. I mean, I don't even want to be a profit anymore. Just put it back up to my entry. God, please, just bring it back to my entry when it's turned around and going to towards your stop loss and things like that. So you traders, you get it. And of course I have my cup that I love, Black, Blessed, and Bougie, my coffee cup. I think that describes me perfectly. Okay, so Like I was saying last week, verse 86, I want to kind of get to how I associate that with trading, and then we'll move to the next verse. All right, so association to trading in excuse me, last week's verse, Psalm 86, was Daniel's prayer, which was a request for provisions in his life. He was asking God for mercy, grace, and help in times of trouble. And like I said, when you're a trader and you're in the midst of a trade, you really need God's grace. You really need his wisdom, the Holy Spirit of wisdom to be over you, so you can be able to be analyzing your charts correctly, strategizing correctly, executing correctly. That's why I do have on my charts as a watermark, wisdom, patience, and faith. And I say that wisdom is to analyze, patience is to strategize, and faith is to execute, because you really need those attributes in order to be a good trader and to be in profit, you know? So, like I said, that's Daniel's prayer was a request, you know, provisions, God's mercy, grace, help. So in trading, like I was saying, every day is a struggle, and anyone who believes in a higher power, basically for me in this case, Yahweh, God, you're always pleading for mercy, grace, and help while in the market. Because it just feels like so much pressure and feels like so much is on the line, because you know how money can have your mind going crazy. It's like you're either wasting money or making money in the market, so you're losing it or you're gaining it. So it does become very stressful. So it is like you do really want to have God first in your life, and especially have him with you while you're in the market. So that's the how I would see that Psalm 86 associates trading, the association to trading. All right, so also last week we read in the reference Bible how it said the word supplication. And when I read that, I was kind of like a little stumped, because I would have normally, if I knew that was there before, I would have looked that word up, because I wasn't familiar with that word, and I don't like to not know a word and its meaning. So when I read that, I was a little stumped, but I didn't have time at that point to kind of look it up and see. So when I looked it up, I looked up the verse, and it says that it means to humbly ask someone for something. So it's basically a humble request. so, right, it's funny because that word humble, that's a big thing in my life. People always say, you know, overconfident, and that can be like you're not being humble. And so I was listening to Sarah Jakes Roberts podcast maybe like 2 weeks ago. It was during my fast. It was during the 21-day fast, and that was in January. So she was on the podcast, and she was saying how last year her word was surrender for the year for a woman involved, and she was doing a podcast with I can't remember who she was talking to, but she was talking, and she was asking the person who she was interviewing, not necessarily interview, because she kind of likes to have just a conversation type of vibe on her podcast. So she was asking them, you know, what is your word for this year, 2025? And it's so crazy, because the word that just like literally shot out of my mouth. Usually I think and talk to myself in my head, but this word just shot like out my mouth, and it was humility. And when it shot out of my mouth, I literally started screaming at God. I was like, God, no, I don't want that word. No, please, no, I don't want that word, because I am not really a humble person. And over the last few months, especially during this trading, God has truly humbled me. He really has. I usually am just getting everything I want, quickly doing what I want, how I want. And this stock market has truly humbled me. I've taught myself how to trade, and that was a very hard, long journey. I felt like, even though I've only been doing this for 8 months, it feel like it has taken so much of me. It has put me in isolation. Although I do hear on a lot of Christian podcasts that isolation is what you need to build yourself up and become the version of yourself that God wants you to be. But I have been so isolated. I have stopped talking to basically everybody in my life except for my parents. Of course, I talk to my brother and my children, but other than that, I don't go out anywhere. I don't do anything. I don't hang out. I don't talk to my friends or my cousins or nobody. I'm just like on the charts all day, every day. If I'm not doing that, I'm doing my job. And if I'm not doing that, I'm taking care of my kids, cooking, cleaning, because I am their maid, their chef, their driver. Except for my son, he does have a car that I gave him or whatever. So it's just like I'm always doing something for other people. Basically, I'm really never doing anything for enjoyment for myself. I haven't went on any vacations. I normally go on multiple vacations a year. But when I go on vacations, I always take my kids because I don't know, I'm one of those moms that's like, I know a lot of moms, especially like black moms, are like, F them kids. No, I'm like one of the moms that's like, if I go somewhere and my kids never been there, I don't even want to go first. They have to go with me. So every vacation I go on, it's like I take my kids with me, unless it's for my birthday, and then I'll do that for myself. So normally we'll go on 2 vacations a year, stuff like that. We went to Aruba in May of last year, and that was the only vacation we went on. So yeah, so it's one thing. I'm gonna have to do something here. Okay, I had to come back. Sorry about that. Hopefully that doesn't mess up anything. Anyway, my light was so dim I could not even see myself on this camera. So hopefully that's not messed up, because I'm just now doing all this content, and content creation is exhausting. On another note, it is like edit, cut, clip, rewind, rewatch, and I hate listening to myself talk, so I have to keep on listening to myself talk. I'm like, oh, your voice is so annoying. Anyway, okay, so supplication, humble request. So that led me to think of the word that splattered out of my mouth when I was listening to Sarah Jakes Roberts podcast, humility. So the verse of the day is Luke 14:11, and that verse says, "For those who exalt themselves will be humbled, and those who humble themselves will be exalted." Exalted means held in high regard. So the story that leads up to that particular verse has to do with people sitting at a table, going to a dinner. And so God said, so I'm going to read the verse, the prelude verse to that, and that is Luke 14:7-10. Now, the verse even says, I'm reading out of the NLT version. The verse even says for Luke 14, and right before 7, it says, Jesus teaches about humility. And I didn't even notice that before. So that's crazy. It says, when Jesus noticed that all who had come to the dinner were trying to sit in the seats of honor near the head of the table, he gave them this advice. Now, this part is in red, so you know this is him speaking. It says, when you are invited to a wedding feast, don't sit in the seat of honor. What if someone who is more distinguished than you has also been invited? The host will come and say, give this person your seat. Then you will be embarrassed, and you will have to take whatever seat is left at the foot of the table. Instead, take the lowest place at the foot of the table. Then when your host sees you, he will come and say, friend, we have a better place for you. Then you will be honored in front of all the other guests. Now this is that was verse 7 through 10. This is 11. This is our verse. For those who exalt themselves will be humbled, and those who humble themselves will be exalted. So that's really good, because it's like, don't think so much of yourself, because you can be embarrassed. It's so like, humble yourself. Don't be so prideful. And another verse that I have that was associated to that was Proverbs 22:4. It says, true humility and fear of the Lord leads to riches, honor, and long life. So God is basically saying that, being humble does not mean that you're not great, or that you won't be great, or that you won't reap any great benefits. It's just, don't just be so boisterous, basically. And for me, that was a thing. Like, I always thank God for everything that I have, because I knew without him I would have nothing. I always knew that I was nothing without God. But I was very attention seeking. I love attention. I still do love attention. But I don't know. I think it was just like, I don't think I was prideful, because I guess maybe I am prideful, because I do take pride in the things that I do, the things that I have accomplished, the person that I am. But I've always gave thanks to God for all of it. But at the same time, I was also looking, I guess you could say, down. I don't want to say down on others, but I took pride in myself so high it could seem as if that I was looking down on others by pulling myself up. So being humble is a big thing for me, and that's something I'm working on this year, because like I said, that is my word. That's the word that God gave me and spit out my mouth. So, humility. Now, I also have on here that, like I was saying, humility is not downplaying your greatness, because like the verse said, it says being humble will exalt you. So it will bring you up. It will lift you up. It will give you long life. It will bring you riches. So it's not that God doesn't want you to have these things. He just wants you to praise him in these things. So humility is being mindful not to be boastful, and to always give thanks to God in all that you do, because your greatness is a gift from God. Remember that. Like, anything that you have is a gift from God. So don't think God doesn't want you to rejoice in your accomplishments, but he wants you to remember him, because everybody knows God is a jealous God. He said that. It's said in the Bible many times. He said himself. He just wants his due praise. So in the midst of it all, just make sure that you are giving God the praise in your greatness. Now, I do want to make sure that this isn't that long, and I do want to always associate the verse to trading. So this is how I'm associating the humility in that verse to trading. In James 2:26, it states, faith without works is dead, meaning you have to put action behind your faith to give God something to put his hands on. But with that being said, humility comes by then not having delusions of grandeur. So in trading, we call that overconfident. So that is how you humble yourself in trading. You don't want to be too overconfident in your strategy, in your trading knowledge, and in your daily bias we have, which is a directional bias. Is it going to be a bullish day? Is it going to be a bearish day? You have to be able to humble yourself to the market as well, because if you don't humble yourself to the market will humble you, and the market will humble you quickly. And I could say like the market is humbling you, but really it's God, because God is in control of it all. God is in control of the market. He's in control of NASDAQ that I'm trading every day. He's in control of the New York Stock Exchange where the NASDAQ is. He's in control of it all. So don't become so overconfident with your strategy and your ability to trade that you lose the humility in it. And so I think in trading, having a modest view of your ability will prevent many of the psychological factors that we face, which is greed and over leveraging, things like that. So just being humble as you're in the market, and showing humility throughout life will translate right into your trading. And just remember to give all praise to the Most High, to Yahweh, because without Him, you wouldn't have even stumbled upon the stock market to be able to have these opportunities. And there are so many great opportunities in the market. So remember to stay humble in life and stay humble in the stock market. And that's going to be it for today. Everyone have a blessed week.